Imagine waking up to a world where the internal monologue of every person around you is suddenly audible, not as sound, but as direct cognition. This isn't telepathy in the traditional sense, where thoughts are selectively sent and received, but a pervasive, unbidden transparency. It's akin to having a constant, unfiltered data stream from every conscious mind within proximity, a profound and immediate invasion of the most private realm. The very fabric of social interaction, built on unspoken assumptions and selective disclosure, would instantly unravel. The quiet hum of a coffee shop, for instance, would transform into a cacophony of anxieties about burnt toast, existential dread, and suppressed desires. Think of the sheer processing power required just to filter this onslaught of information, let alone react to it meaningfully. This isn't just about knowing secrets, it's about navigating a world where the distinction between inner thought and outer expression collapses entirely.
The immediate aftermath would likely be a state of social paralysis. Consider the delicate dance of negotiations, whether in business or personal relationships. Every hidden agenda, every calculated bluff, every unspoken resentment would be laid bare. Deals would fall apart, relationships would fracture, and politeness, a cornerstone of societal lubrication, would become a transparent lie. We often rely on the unspoken to maintain harmony, from feigning interest in a dull conversation to suppressing judgment about a colleague's outfit. Without that barrier, these small social fictions, essential for smooth interaction, would vanish, leading to widespread awkwardness and direct confrontation. This forced honesty would be less about genuine connection and more about an inescapable, often brutal revelation of everyone's true, unvarnished thoughts. Our internal thoughts are not always coherent, rational, or even kind. They are a jumble of fleeting impressions, half-formed judgments, anxieties, and desires, often contradictory and rarely intended for external consumption. The human mind is a constant stream of self-correction, fantasy, and raw, unfiltered data. Projecting this raw internal chaos outwards would expose not just deep-seated beliefs, but also the momentary irrationality, the prejudice we immediately dismiss, or the intrusive thought we try to ignore. This isn't about deep philosophical truths, it's about the messy, often embarrassing reality of continuous mental activity. The very concept of a lie would become complicated. Is a thought you instantly regret and suppress still a lie if it's read by others, even if you never intended to express it? The distinction between intent and manifestation would blur profoundly. Privacy in this scenario would cease to exist as we understand it. Not just privacy of action, but privacy of being. Our sense of self is deeply intertwined with our internal world, the sanctuary where we process experiences, formulate opinions, and develop our identity away from external judgment. When this sanctuary is breached, the very definition of self undergoes a radical shift. What remains of individuality when every nascent idea, every personal struggle, every private joy or sorrow is immediately public? The weight of constant, involuntary transparency would be immense, leading to extreme self-consciousness or, conversely, a desperate attempt to cultivate mental emptiness. People might actively try to think nothing to avoid exposure, leading to a strange form of collective mental silence in public spaces. A paradox of absolute transparency leading to deliberate internal void. The potential for psychological distress from this constant exposure, from knowing that every fleeting thought is under scrutiny, would be profound. After the initial shock and chaos of a day of thought reading, the world would be irrevocably altered. Even if the ability vanished, the knowledge gained would forever change human interaction. Trust, once a gradual accumulation of shared experiences and perceived honesty, would now be tainted by the memory of hidden truths. The psychological impact of having seen the unfiltered minds of loved ones, colleagues, and strangers would linger, creating an entirely new social dynamic where skepticism would be the default. New societal norms would emerge, perhaps favoring those who can cultivate extreme mental discipline or those who learn to thrive in a brutally honest, albeit often uncomfortable, environment. The day would serve as a stark reminder that the uncommunicated internal world is not merely a personal space, but a foundational pillar upon which our complex social structures are built. Its temporary collapse would reveal the fragile yet essential role that mental privacy plays in the construction of society and the individual self.